This is lesson 14-5, finding the percent of a number. Our essential question, how can you calculate the percent of a number? And this picture shows the proportion that we're going to be using to solve. So there's no vocab for this lesson. Okay, so I want you to write down this proportion on your paper because we're going to be using it for each problem. Part over whole equals percent over 100. So we have 26% of 50. So here's my percent, and I'm just going to fill in all that I have in this proportion. So my percent goes at the top of my second part. So I see 26 goes over 100 because I see percent over 100. And I have 26% in this problem. Equals, now what we have in all of these examples is the whole. So we have 50 as our whole. And what we're looking for is the part. So we don't know. So we're going to put X. And what we do to solve is we cross multiply. So we have X times 100 just becomes 100X. You just put them together because we don't know what X is yet. And 50 times 26, which equals 1,300. And now, think back to when we did our algebra in topic 4. We have to get X by itself. When we have a number and a letter next to each other like this, that means multiply. And in order to get X by itself, we have to do the opposite, the inverse. So we're going to be dividing by 100 on both sides. Now this is going to cross itself out. And then when we do 1,300 divided by 100, we get 13. So X equals 13. So 26% of 50 is 13. All right, number 2. Write what percent the first number is of the second number. So we're going to use the same proportion. We're just going to be filling in different parts. So we have 18 of 62. So 18 is the part and 62 is the whole. Equals the percent, we don't know the percent, they didn't tell us in this problem, over 100. It always goes over 100. So I just took the numbers I had and made it into my proportion. And now I cross multiply again. So for the percent, I'm going to put an X. So when we cross multiply, we have 62 times X, which just becomes 62X, and 18 times 100, which becomes 1,800. Now we have to get X by itself. We have a multiplication problem here, so that means we have to divide. So we have to divide by 62 on both sides. This side crosses itself out, and 1,800 divided by 62 is about 29%. which would be our answer. Example number 3, again, we're going to use the same proportion. So we have 47%. We always put our percent over 100 equals 300 is our whole, and we're looking for our part because it says 47% of 300. So that means it's going to be somewhere around 50% of 300. So it's going to be about half of 300. So that's how we know 300 is our whole. Now we cross multiply. 100 times x becomes 100x equals 47 times 300, which equals 14,100. Now we have to get x by itself. We divide by 100 to do that. This cancels itself out. So we have x equals, we do 14,100 divided by 100, and we get 141. So 47% of 300 is 141. Example 4. We're doing the same thing, but this time we don't have a percent again. So it's going to have to be x over 100 because we don't know what percent. And we have 14 of 42. So 14 is the part and 42 is the whole. Cross multiply. 42 times x becomes 42x. And 14 times 100 becomes 1,400. We have to get x by itself, so we have to divide by 42 on both sides. This side cancels itself out. So we do 1,400 divided by 42, and we get about 33%. So 14 is about 33% of 42. Okay, here are your 3 practice problems. I want you to use the same proportion to solve all 3 of these. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Don't forget a word problem or a question and rate your understanding.